And welcome to our show.
Geeks Are Wired podcast.
Where we talk about video games, the video games,
TV,
movie, TV, technology.
And TLDR, the Internet of Things. This week, we have our hosts, Bill.
Why?
You seem rather unsure
No,
about
hi.
Hi. Okay.
Why ask why? Just say hi.
Hi. We also have Ted.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
That's Ted. And then we have Anthony.
Let's all go to the lobby.
No.
And then we'll have some snacks.
And myself, Anna. But
Hi,
I'm
Anna.
going to be... Hi. I'm going to be leaving the podcast a little early.
So let's get started. Oh, we also can be contacted at geeksarewired@gmail.com, or you may call us at 801-896-4335. The 4335 spells geek.
And you can check us out on Patreon. Just look up Geeks Are Wired on Patreon. I'm sure there's a URL. I just don't see it on the screen right now.
Patreon.com/geekswired.
Oh, look
Super
at that.
simple.
Really easy to remember. And you can sign up to give us a little bit of money. Well, really, Bill, so that he can pay to get this stuff uploaded to the thing, because he's been doing it out of pocket his whole time.
You almost said my whole life.
Yeah, his entire life.
You don't know. I might be 7.
Only 7 years you've been doing this?
Almost.
Almost
That's
7
practically a
years.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Also, we do have Dave, which is great.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
Dave is great. He is a Patreon.
Dave
and
is
he's
also still great.
He's
Dave's
at
great.
the great level.
He's the great level.
There's lots of tiers. You should check it out on the interwebs, patreon.com/geeksarewired.
There you go.
What if they go to Geeks Are Wired?
As long as they spell it out.
So they
So-
put R like R.
Don't spell it like a pirate.
So spell it A-R-E?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like the podcast shows that you're listening to.
We're gonna
Unless somebody gave you
We're going to
this-
have to make a spin-off of Geeks Are Wired now.
Call it Geeks.
No,
Are
no,
Wired,
I'm that type of a nerd.
where we don't
I
use our full
spell my
name.
words out.
Me too. In fact, I sent a friend a text, and it had the letter U instead of the letter I. And so it said, you could come to my house instead of I could go to your house, basically. I don't remember exactly how I worded it. And then, he showed up at my house, and I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, to look at the text. And I'm like, you should have known that I wouldn't have just used the letter U. I would have typed out Y-O-U. He's like, yeah, I thought it was weird at the time.
Yeah.
But that's my story.
Even my auto responses for my Fitbit are actually full-blown sentences.
Oh, yeah, so are mine. I
or
won't-
at least words.
I don't text that way.
I
spell
have
the whole
5
thing out.
options. Actually, I would rather do emojis.
Be like, or no one can see that, but
I don't mind emojis. I'm
I
good
like emojis.
responding in emojis, but the kids these days have meanings for the emojis, and it might be a little dangerous if you don't know
Oh.
what the meanings
Well, it depends
are.
on which kids you're talking about, because even there's
That's true.
randomness.
Different age groups and
just
different
stay
social
away
groups.
from the
Yep.
eggplant. You're probably fine.
No, the eggplant is actually the one safe one. You know what it means.
What does it mean?
It's dinner time.
Good heck. All right. We are. This is episode number 346, which we probably could call eggplant or something, or emoji, or
I'd put an emoji in
or
the
you
title,
can title it
but
Geeks.
it probably wouldn't work.
You could probably call it Geeks Are Wired or something. All piratey.
So,
I don't know.
that's fun title, blah, blah, blah. Well, first thing I would like to talk about, because we forgot to talk about it last time, and I was kind of, it was sad news.
Was it
Bixby?
No,
I was going to say something.
no, it was the Snake River Comic
Oh, yeah.
Fandom Con.
Fandom Con. I
That
guess it
actually,
doesn't
they
matter
can't
what
get
you
sued
call
now.
it at this point. Yeah, so apparently it's being canceled for this year.
That may be for the
and
foreseeable.
maybe forever.
What I don't get is it doesn't even seem like Yeah, one person's not funding it, and I guess they provided a lot of it, but it doesn't even seem like they're trying to get other funding.
I think there was just a lot behind it, but they also did help train. Their first year there was a lot time spent behind it. Going, hey, this is how we, they were hoping to help grow the community.
Yeah,
and honestly, I'm sure if you want to reach out to them, they would be willing to work with you. There's some talks going on.
How about it,
Okay.
Anthony? Let's get together a couple thousand, hundreds of thousands of dollars and get it set up. I don't even have any idea of how much that would cost. Like more than 1,000, less than 1,000,000 is my range where I would think that it would cost.
Good range.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like to make sure and get my range.
like I'm not
in
saying
there.
it's no small feat, but it just kind of seems like I don't know, giving up too easy. But
There's a lot.
my personal opinion, I don't know
Yeah,
the whole
well,
story.
it's
so
hard to tell from where we're sitting. Right?
I don't know the whole story,
Yeah.
so I'm not gonna go more into it than that.
It's easy to
Just
make.
what it seems like to me. But yeah, it's easy to make.
It's easy to say the egg's rotten, but only a hen can make an egg. I mean, other animals make eggs too, but yeah. So that's
Dinosaurs make eggs. too.
disappointing and sad, but
Which
I
are
can
also
see why they
chickens.
wouldn't want to do like a GoFundMe or something like that because then you've got people paying the GoFundMe, but are we going to give them tickets? Because those are the people that would have bought the tickets, and now they're not getting the ticket. So
Discounted
I
tickets.
don't know. It gets weird, and I imagine that like GoFundMe's and the startup, Kickstarter and stuff are. I've heard that they're a lot of work and not necessarily a lot of reward for them, because you end up like losing money if you're not careful, like saying what you're going to send out, or you end up spending a lot of time making sure you fulfill the things. So, and I don't know, when you start putting your hand out asking for money from people start demanding lots of crazy stuff at the same time. So,
Yeah, like they have to be great.
yeah, Dave is great.
Or greater.
Yeah. Who
the
thinks they
greatest.
could be greater than Dave? Because we do have our hand out, and we'll gladly say anything you want about us, as long as about you, as long as it's not including swears and is within reasonable limitations.
Yes.
So see if we would even disparage Dave after we said he was great if you paid us more than Dave's paying us.
Because they are greater then at that point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But if you wanted us to say like Dave smells like puppies,
Something. Yeah, there you go.
we would for more money than Dave's paying us.
Yeah. But if you're also worried about somebody becoming greater than you can always just go straight to the top tier and be the greatest.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
No one can be in a higher tier than the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
You can give more money, but you're just not in a higher tier. Only one person can be the greatest.
There can only be one. What about legendary? Are we ever gonna have a god tier?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Why would somebody take my tier?
No, you're Batman tier.
What's the difference?
I'm pretty sure you're turd tier.
Actually, I was thinking about going along the lines of something with April Fools, because that is right around the corner.
Leads the way to
Like, did
banning.
Microsoft do that before? Oh, dang it! I forgot to talk to him about that.
Microsoft? Yep.
No. Ted probably knows what I'm talking about, but that's okay.
All right.
We can go on.
Behind the curtain. Later stuff. So, Microsoft came out and was like, no, there's no April Fool's prank. We are not dealing with Clippy at all, even though they brought Clippy back for one day only to kill it. And
So they used to do April Fool's pranks?
yeah,
Well,
everyone did.
a lot of them, they do press releases saying that we're doing this stuff, and then they're like, April Fools, aren't we funny? We're not bringing Clippy back.
Yeah. Let's see. They resurrected Clippy Office Assistant as a joke. But then also, because they don't want to deal with it, because like Google got in trouble last year by putting Despicable Me minions into emails and muting threads.
Yeah.
Or I guess it wasn't last year, but a couple years ago. Like, so yes, this is all fun, but there's a lot of pain that sometimes comes from it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be careful. I was really excited one year because I saw a wireless extension cord.
Nice.
And I mean, we already have the technology to do that, so it wasn't like it was unreasonable. Like you could already just set up a microwave and send electricity via microwaves somewhere else.
Back on the cell phone thing. Which I invested. I liked your idea. I invested one.
A cell phone?
Yeah. Finally came around.
You're not a Luddite.
No more. No more Luddite.
You were never one. Or at least you haven't been in the time that I've known you.
No, I'm usually the one leading the charge on the technologies. I'm like, look at that shiny object over there.
And then you quickly move over to the next shiny object.
That's the problem about moving over to that shiny object over there. Actually, I'm looking forward to the new shiny object, Elder Scrolls Blades. I'm really hoping that actually does come out at the end of the month.
That's the same people who made Fallout, right?
Fallout and Elder Scroll with Skyrim and all that.
Bethesda.
I have a feeling that if their latest iterations of software are anything to go by, they're going downhill. So it's probably not going to be good. That's my feeling.
I'm still not worried.
So, I mean, that's a good question. Are you still playing, or would you suggest other people play Fallout?
76 specifically.
Actually, I have got it reinstalled, got my computer dealt with its issues, and even though it says it's not compatible, it's working, and I'm having fun again. I'm kind of balancing out my MMOs right now. I'm playing 76 and ESO.
Which are both Bethesda.
Yeah. I've already paid my money, and
those ones aren't subscription based, right?
you don't have to be. Well, ESO does not have to be. You can pay monthly, and then you have everything unlocked, all of the realms and everything. Or you could just buy the realms, and then just pay. So you just pay for the games and the realms you want to enter.
Interesting.
And I just pay for because I don't play that game nearly enough, so dropping whatever, $30 or $20 when a major release comes out, or maybe dropping $40 to get the special edition horse.
Yeah.
Or whatever other randomness.
I like horses.
They are great. My horse is great.
Give it a lick. Tastes just like raisins.
No.
I know.
We're
That's
not.
some old internet.
We're not
memes.
recommending that.
With
Guys.
Come on,
We're not
Anna.
recommending it.
Sing it with me.
No, see, my horse is a fiery horse.
Come on, Anna.
No, Ted, I'm not singing that with you.
With the flick of its mane, it turns into a plane.
No,
No.
And
I'm
then
not
it turns
going
back
there.
again when...
no.
So,
You'll have to look it up to find out when it turns back in from the plane, if you don't know already.
no April Fools this year for Microsoft.
This might just be leading up to a big announcement on April 1st. That's a April Fool's joke.
Or they want people to actually believe them. They're like, no, seriously, guys, this is the beginning of the quarter. We've been prepping this stuff up. This is serious wireless charging PCs.
Like PCs and not laptops, right? Like desktops.
Why not both? Let's just blanket all the. Basically, our cell phones are wireless. It could have our mini PCs, depending on mini computers at least. Maybe not
Yeah,
PCs.
but it makes sense to charge them wirelessly to a point. Same with a laptop. A desktop computer, no.
Why not?
I heard a good
No.
idea, maybe,
Samsung's doing with TVs.
that I liked. So you get a wireless mouse
Mm-hmm.
that does the mouse pad actually charges it.
Yes, I actually was thinking about buying one of those.
They exist?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, maybe not the mouse itself, but the mouse, but that you have usually it sits underneath. It's the bigger pads, sits underneath your keyboard and mouse.
But you never have to
just
worry
to
about
the side.
charging it.
If you had a mouse that could take wireless charging.
If you know what I mean.
I think there's mice that do that. Take wireless charging. I think there is.
If you know what I mean.
That'd be
No.
interesting. I don't think I care. Just gonna go with that. Moving on.
$99 AI computer.
Yeah.
So it's just an expensive Raspberry Pi, it looks like.
Well,
with a
it's
with a GPU instead
yeah.
of a CPU.
It's GPU powered, so it's more
Mathy.
It's geared to do more
It has-
stuff like that.
It has more flops.
It has.
742 gigaflops.
That's it.
It's a big Raspberry Pi it's a teeny tiny handheld or palm held
Wait.
computer.
You said 742. That's 472.
Yeah.
Did I say 742?
Yeah.
And you thought that wasn't a lot. It's even less then.
I was reading the number. I wasn't paying attention to what you said.
All the numbers that I read were right there.
Yeah, you just did some transposing and whatnot. Flipped them around. Just look at how many flops Xbox 360 could do. 'Cause we're just going with old tech.
The 360.
Yeah, just old tech.
All right. Let's see. Xbox 360.
Flops.
I'm worried about this search.
It's fine.
It's not an image search, so
Yeah,
you'll
see,
be all right.
power compared. That one.
Top one.
Yeah, system by
Right.
flops. See?
And
Look, it's GameSpot.
So it's how many rabbits are in it?
yeah, there's numbers.
So
What
it's
do you
saying
want
how you calculate it, and then it says what's wrong with doing that. Keep going down.
Is there more?
Yeah, there is.
It's just
Oh, there's the Sega Dreamcast, which has 1.4 gigaflops.
Okay.
Wait, was there?
no.
Oh, no,
no,
that's
just keep
that's just what they have. Sony PlayStation 2, 6.2 gigaflops. Nintendo GameCube, 9.4
9.4.
gigaflops. I'm like, they hide that one. The Wii is 12 gigaflops. The original Xbox is
20. 10 to 20.
breaks into the
Oh,
top
sorry.
10 with
Sorry.
20 gigaflops. It was like
Okay.
PlayStation 3 is 31.7. Nope, that's its times.
230.4 gigaflops.
All right, we're starting to hit. Let's see. How much was the other one?
400 something.
Yeah.
472.
So we're halfway there.
Basically 500.
So we're in last gen PlayStation technology.
Potentially. Keep down.
360 is
240 gigaflops.
still
Yeah.
half.
Yeah. So
Wrong one. Yes.
keep going.
Wii
And
U.
the Wii U is 352.
Switch.
Switch is
Not showing.
yeah. I don't think they ever. Wait.
Opted to focus on portability rather than raw power and went custom. A Tegra
Nvidia.
mobile processing chip as a result. Doesn't say.
All right.
It's number 6, but it's
What's number 5?
first.
Dear mom.
Number 5 is the Xbox One,
The X Bone.
Okay,
which is not the Elite.
Okay, so I guess it's okay.
It's
That's
last
probably
gen.
a lot. It's in between
For-
last and current gen.
For $100 too.
Yeah.
I'm curious, does it have its own version of Linux, or do you choose, or like what's that?
No, it supports micro SD. What? It doesn't say whether it's SD, HC, or XC. I would hope it is XC, honestly, with most stuff coming out nowadays.
So it seems to be, I don't know. Everything says AI these days, and I still don't think that it's really AI, because what they say is machine learning is really just brute force.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
But it's still
It's kind of like the word random. I don't feel like the word random is actually random.
So,
like the way people use it.
the way that machine learning works now. It's learning, but it's learning through brute force, and then it's just it's just doing patterns at that point. So it's learning, because that's kind of what we do too. Just not. We can speed up that process a lot faster.
Right, but I don't know.
It's learning. It's just you have to give it something first. Like you have to have a seed.
So there's a catch.
What's that?
The $99 is only for commercial companies who order at least 1,000 of them.
So normally it's
$130.
that's still not terrible.
Oh yeah, but this thing is called. It's Nvidia, the Jetson Nano.
I'm going to get out of here, so I'm just going to say hello, goodbye.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
Baby
Let's
shark.
all go to the lobby. And then we'll hit the gym.
Have
What
fun
did
at
Jim ever
gyms.
do to you?
Stole my wife.
Google how many teraflops a Raspberry Pi 3 has, or how many flops.
Hey Google, how many teraflops does a Raspberry Pi have? The users already know.
No, they don't.
Oh, no, Google doesn't like that.
Our Google Home doesn't know. And when I say our, I mean Bill's.
If I can spell
Raspberry.
Berry Pie Flops. Jeez. I am terrible at this Googling.
You also spelled pie wrong.
I did not. It's edible.
No, you spelled it wrong. It's P-I, not P-I-E.
Edible.
No, pie, P-I, pie isn't edible.
It is too. If you eat something that's circular, you just ate 2 pie. Tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't like you.
I've got that feeling from you lately.
3.463.
Gigaflops.
That thing is ridiculously small.
Yeah.
Is that the new one?
It's probably the original
But
one.
it's not a GPU.
No.
That's
I mean,
the
it
thing.
has a GPU on it, but it's not made for that.
It's not fancy. Right. Yeah, it's got a...
Oh, I thought you were going to type.
He's going to start commenting on their comment section there.
Yep. I'm commenting about how they spell the word pie. That's just, how I roll.
I roll poorly. Like, the front half of me is kind of round, so I roll well there. Then I hit the flat part, and I just kind of drag a little bit till the coefficient of friction is overcome, at which point I flip back
Or
over.
it just never is, and then you're just stuck.
Yeah. Goo gets all over the ground like my...
There you go. There's
First
your flops.
had 2.8 gigaflops. The second had... Oh, wait, no. This is just different runs at overclocking.
Oh.
Anyways, we don't... completely random. Google Flipsy. Please.
Google Flipsy?
Yeah, Flipsy.
You mean make a... Or,
Spell it.
Just
Or-
flip C.
So barrel roll? Do a
No,
barrel roll?
No, not that one.
Google do a barrel roll?
No, because that will do something else. So FLIPSIE, I think. Try it.
I am still worried about this.
Try it with a Y instead of a IE. Yeah, try that.
I am worried. There's a really cool shoe.
Okay. After Flipsy, put Fairly Odd Parents, because that's what I'm referring to.
Oh, that first result had a Fairly Odd
Oh,
Parents
did it?
thing. It was like the second result.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Aw. No, what's that? It was the IE.
Yeah, Flipsy.
What about Flipsy?
That's
That's
the
just
dog.
Flipsy the dog.
The Robo Dog?
Yeah, that's it.
Anthony.
We were talking about
Untrustworthy.
flops, and then I heard about something. I just thought about flips, and then
Flipsy the dog. The untrustworthy dog.
Anthony.
they had an episode. So since we're on the topic, they had an episode of Fairly Odd Parents where, on his millionth wish, they found out he erased a wish from existence.
So it really wasn't
And
his
no.
millionth wish?
So this is a spoiler, everyone. He had
old
for
is
like
this
the last
episode?
100 years, he wished that no one would age, so he could keep his fairies.
Yeah.
And for the last 100, like it's been like hundreds of 100 years or more, and everybody's the same age because no one ages.
But nobody said anything about it?
No, because it's magic.
But no, like
They
the
only
entire-
realized it was a thing because they realized that there instead of being 1,000,000 wishes, there was 1,000,001
Ah.
because they checked the log in the wands or something. I don't know.
This was very, very, just amazing. I might have to go watch Fairly Odd Parents. I mean, or I could go watch Love, Death, and Robots.
How is that?
Oh, so good. So good. Very adult. Very adult. The different episodes had like different themes, or like they like were completely different. But yeah, it was really, really good. What?
Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom. It was also in the images for some
You're a
reason.
weirdo. But so there's I don't remember how many there are. Like, does it say how many episodes is in it?
That looks dark.
Oh, it's super dark.
I might like it.
Yeah, scroll down to the bottom.
18.
18, right? Yeah. So 16 was my favorite. It's called Ice Age. It has Topher, from that 70s show. And then the lady on the right, I don't know the
I'm gonna have to watch
actress's
this.
name, but she is, she plays Ramona Flowers in Scott Pilgrim.
So
And like there's a whole universe.
she's the main
like,
chick, right?
She's the girl, yeah, the main
Okay.
girl. She's so the whole plot of that one is that they like buy this new place and there's like a civilization in their fridge that's progressing really, really fast.
Question.
That was really good. But like none of them are really connected to each other. They're all just different, and there's some really, really good ones in there, and there are none that I watched that I would say were bad. Like I
So-
liked every one of them.
So because you said that, so the episodes aren't, so it's episodic.
Right.
Okay, so is that why I see different art styles in the thumbnails?
Yeah, it's completely different artists
Okay,
and everything.
I was like,
and like I said, they're not connected.
some of these are live action looking, some of these
Yeah,
are straight
so
up cartoons.
they're all-
What's going on?
They're all animated in some way.
Okay.
Right? So even the only one with like live action one is the Ice Age, the 16. But they're still animated
about
in
7?
the little city.
Beyond the Aquila Rift.
No,
It's
that
really
one's
CGI.
animated. The first the
Oh.
first one and the last one, I think are like really, really, really good CGI, but it is CGI. So
I'm gonna-
like you have a hard time telling that it's not a real person.
What is this called?
It's called Love, Death, and Robots.
I'm gonna add that to my TV Showtime.
Yeah, it's super good. Like, but take some time, because when you watch the first episode, you probably aren't going to want to stop. You're probably just going to want to watch them all. They're like 20 minutes each, and there's 16 of them.
I
so,
see no problem with this.
Yeah, so that's 320 minutes.
Love,
so,
Death, and Robots.
yeah.
So you're saying it's like Black Mirror.
Add this show.
No, I'm saying
He doesn't like
I'm
Black
saying
Mirror.
nothing
No.
of the sort. Well, the thing though about Black Mirror is that they're all different points in the same timeline. Was my understanding of Black Mirror.
It became that way. It didn't start that way.
Well, but this is not that. These are just completely different
it start.
universes.
Well, okay, but that's how, like, was it Twilight Zone and Outer Limits both had that idea. They weren't connected stories, and then as the storytelling went on over the years, they became among the same story
Okay. Well,
or the same
I mean,
universe.
I mean, these pretty much.
So wait, they're different
aren't.
stories, but are they in the same universe?
No, I don't think so.
So these are all like there's nothing.
No,
that ties
there
them
is
together?
a whole number 6 is called When the Yogurt Took Over,
Mhm.
and it's literally about how this yogurt gained sentience and took over. So I don't think that fits in with anything else
You don't know that.
in there.
What about Fish Night?
No, and then there's one about like werewolves,
Yeah,
and
shapeshifters.
the Fish Night one was like in the 70s. Yeah, they're just.
Zima Blue.
I suppose it's
Supper of
possible that
Souls.
they're all part of the same thing, but I don't think there's nothing in there that like ties them together that I saw.
So have you watched this at all, Bill?
I want to, but I haven't.
Okay, I'm just wondering if it's as dark or as grueling as Devilman Crybaby.
Okay, wait. How long did you say these were?
They're like 20 minutes
20 minutes.
each. So
Okay.
17 minutes, 12 minutes, 12
There's
minutes.
a
I guess
9
they're
minutes.
less. Yeah. They're not very long.
These are like super. Wow, these are
They're
like
short.
YouTube videos
Yeah,
almost.
they're really good.
So it's a web TV series, basically.
At
Yeah. So maybe it won't take you 3 hours to watch it, but
least 1 or 2 maybe.
yeah, it's gonna take you a little while.
Actually,
Well, if they all average at about 17 minutes, and there's 17 of them.
No, I think 17's too high. I think 17's
No.
like the higher end.
yeah.
How many
I
are
know.
there?
I could say you'll have about 3 hours, 3 to 4 ish.
So there's 18 of them.
Yeah.
They take you 288 minutes, which is 4.8 hours. So still a good chunk of time.
There we go.
But you were assuming 17 minutes.
No, I went down to 16.
I think 16's too high too. It's probably like 12.
I wonder if TV Showtime might have our answer.
12 times 18, so that's 18 times 2, which is 36.
Oh. I clicked the button.
Noises.
Times 2 or times 3, which is 108, times another 3, which is 327 divided by 60.
Okay.
Math.
Anyways, it'll take you at least 4 hours.
Yeah, so
Probably almost 5.5.
But definitely worth it.
If you like dark and gritty shows, or is
yeah.
it just dark?
It's dark and gritty, and there's a fair amount of nudities. They have,
so it's TVMA.
they show lady nudities, and plus you get boy parts from time to time.
So it's definitely TVMA.
Yeah, it's
So just
it's
like
adult.
Devilman Crybaby.
Send the kids somewhere else if you don't want them seeing eggplants.
Doesn't Devilman Crybaby?
That's what an eggplant is, right?
Yes.
All right. I'm glad we had this talk.
Dinner time.
That's why he said that. Does it make sense now?
No?
I think you're lying to me.
Dinner time?
Yes.
Because it's an eggplant. If you cut up the eggplant, you
That's
roll
not
it
what you
up.
were going for.
How do you know? Does it? Is your my mind doesn't have to be dirty, even though your mind's dirty.
I know that's not what you were going
I
for.
have no idea. What
Actually, initially, I was totally going for that.
Oh, really?
Yes. Once it came out, I was like, sticking to it, even though it sounds terrible.
Anyways. Super good.
Isn't Devilman Crybaby, isn't there the intro for that metal or something like that? You don't have to look it up. Yeah.
Anna said that the animation reminded her kind of heavy metal, the show from like the 70s or 80s.
I haven't.
It was like 1980. We
Yeah.
talked about this before,
Yeah.
didn't we? Yeah,
I watched that. I liked it.
So much blood.
me too.
It's good though.
I don't know. The second episode of that one was like.
The first episode.
Was it the first episode?
It just start. It doesn't. So it just goes right into it.
Okay, I thought it was the
You get,
second
like,
episode.
10 minutes in. And
Yeah, I started like questioning, like,
stuff
what am I
starts
watching?
And I got to the end of it, and I texted you, and I was like, I don't know about this show.
Because
And then I watched the rest of it.
I watched it
was
at the
just
same time.
too curious. It also has a ton of nudity in it. Just so you know.
So does this. It has a fair amount of nudity.
So if you're sensitive to that, or if
81.
you have kids, probably don't want to watch it.
With the kids there. 81 was heavy metal. Yeah. It was 3 years old.
Interesting. I was negative
Yep.
11.
Ah, you're so young. So young.
You know, when you talk about kids these days, he is a kid these days.
I know.
Kids
That's
these
why
days,
I asked him. Yeah. What kids these days use just for emojis.
So back whenever I was texting a lot, emojis were still like text based. We didn't have any of these fancy.
Back when I was
graphics.
your age.
Back when I made emojis, we actually had to type out our equal sign 3 times to make an Abraham Lincoln hat.
Yeah, that was my emojis.
on the chat rooms, in those really cool chat rooms.
Back when I was your age, I did =O, and it was a USS Enterprise.
Really? Huh.
Something like that.
What do you say? Equal undersign. Oh, that's not undersign. Undersign O. Yep, that's totally it.
Yeah, okay. I could see that.
Maybe dash, not underscore.
I don't know, I can totally see the underscore.
Try dash.
All right, this just might become the.
Yeah, that's way better.
Yeah,
See?
to a point.
I like the underscore better.
I could see either way.
I think you're wrong. Yeah, whatever. Top view, side view.
I can see that. How about Facebook and their great news?
Oh yeah.
So
So I think
This
this
made me
might have
laugh
been-
so hard.
was this exposed or is this
No,
just that this
no.
was a thing?
It was a thing.
Okay.
There's
And
no evidence that anybody misused it, but they just had all the passwords in plain text available to their developers for years, and nobody did anything about
Okay.
it. But I have a chaos theory that this totally is it. Like, every business runs in this state of managed chaos, and the businesses that make it are able to manage the chaos better. The businesses that don't make it, their chaos finally shakes them apart until there's just nothing left, right? So you hear about this crazy stuff like Apple had a defect where a single line if statement caused them to be able to log in as the administrator with no password, right? This is just a state of managed chaos. Boeing is crashing planes because of
They have a software
bad
patch for it now.
sensor, right?
There's a software patch.
Or not having enough sensors.
Something. It's managed
Those
chaos.
are optional, okay?
So
you had to buy those.
So I'm
That's
less
really real.
Also, you had to buy the training.
Well, not the sensors. The sensors weren't optional. It was the indicator light that this was actually happening. That's what was optional, and you had to pay more for. So to know that the plane was speeding itself up and not and putting the nose down, you had to pay for. Now it's coming stock because, 150
Lawsuits.
died this last time, and how many died that first?
I had too many. Let's go with that.
a lot.
So Airbus is a good company now. No,
Boats are an awesome company now.
so
and cars.
where I was gonna go with this though was that something happened to me. My Twitch account got hacked. They spent a lot of money. If you don't have 2-factor authentication enabled on stuff, go do it now if it's available.
Go do it through everything. Actually, I've got, I think, 3 different ones. Just do everything. And that's the other thing. I've been seeing some articles that were like, oh, 2-factor isn't good and all this other stuff.
It depends.
No, well, okay.
For text message based 2-factor, it's terrible because you can intercept those.
Yes, it is not the best. It is still better than nothing. But there are plenty of apps out there that take care of it. Facebook, even though they're giving out your phone number to everybody, don't give them your phone number, and go tie it into your Google Authenticator app. And then go change your password too, because I guarantee unless you switch, which I have a password admin, and I still need to go through and change a bunch of passwords. This is just wants to speed it up.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, this isn't anything new. Like,
No.
What was it? Probably
All
20
those
years ago, something like that. Blizzard had a breach where someone internal sold a bunch of passwords to someone external. So that means that they were able to get the passwords.
Well, they probably weren't hashed. Because
Yeah.
that's how...
Yeah, well, that's the
That's
thing.
what Sony on their PS3. It wasn't passwords, but it was credit card numbers. They were just in plain text. Actually, no, passwords I think were too. They were just in a random text file.
Next goes back to this. Have I been pwned?
Yeah.
Great website.
And I don't remember if it's Credit Karma or Mint or one of them, but they will look into if you like the email that you signed up with. If the email shows up in any database that they have, it'll tell you. And it'll also tell you what passwords. Like it'll be like they'll have like the first 2 letters, a bunch of stars, and the last 2 letters. It says don't use this password anymore.
Interesting. LastPass actually, that's the password manager. They have set up like, oh, these are the problems. You should change these locations because of this. And
Maybe it was LastPass that was doing that.
I was reading a bunch of articles today about LastPass or about just authentication, like how to safely share passwords in a corporate environment specifically. So like you have this problem where you have a database server and multiple people need to have access to it, but for some reason you only have one login and password. So instead of giving individual people that, you have like one entry point for everything, and
that's bad written software or whatever.
That's and that's suboptimal. Really, you should have logins for everything so you know who's doing what. But it's just systems like that, or the password to a device that you don't want to log in as a different user, like a Windows server or something like that. You need to share it, and so LastPass has options like corporate options so that you can all log into the same LastPass, and then you get that, you can
like
use
a single sign-on.
Right,
like that.
right. So you can use it for that. But one of the things that I saw was like, there was a bunch of articles that were like, hey, the one password was hacked, but you should still use it, and here's the reason why. Like it had, not hacked, but it had a security flaw.
Yeah.
But you should still use it because it's, even with the security flaw, it's better than like using the same password for everything, or having really weak passwords that can be looked up in the rainbow table or something like that. So, and again, there's, so many billion people on the planet. At some level, it is security through obscurity, because if someone really wants to get into your stuff, they're going to figure out how.
Yeah.
If there's, if they've got enough money, enough resources, they're going to get in.
Mm-hmm.
So, at a certain level, you do what you can, but just expect that at some point your social's going to get out there, or your passwords are going to get hacked, or you're going to, I'm sure that if you talk to anybody these days, they'll have a story like Anthony's where, my Blizzard account was hacked because I wouldn't call it hacked because someone literally sold the password to someone else and I never gave out the password, right? It was like a bulk. It was deactivated at the time, but there was people in my guild and I was like one of the officers of the guild. So when they popped in, like she saw that, like she was in the other room and she's like, "Oh, you're playing WoW again." I'm like, "I'm not." And so she like went to the guild bank real quick and locked me out. But I had already, like my character had already started, like
taking stuff.
grabbing stuff. Yeah. So they didn't get that much and they knew exactly what they got.
Yeah.
And were able to get it recovered.
Nice.
But like the stuff that it had for me, like I wasn't able to get most of that back when I decided to try like play again in like 5 years later. But not like the stuff mattered at that point. Like maybe the gold, but that's it. Like all the gear was garbage at that point. I could go out and buy vendor trash for
better stuff.
That was way better. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, everybody I would imagine has had some sort of a story about how someone logged into their stuff at some point, or they fell for a phishing attempt, or whatever. So, you need to have a contingency plan and just be aware that when it happens, know what to do.
And also, if you something else, if you don't use if you don't use an email account anymore, clear out things that talk to it. Just shut it down.
Yeah.
It's a security flaw. Against you.
For sure.
And it's not that hard to like go into the accounts that everything's tied to and like start shifting them over to the other email accounts, because nowadays people, we all have so many email accounts. Whether they're given to us or signed up for some other stupid thing, or signed up for the junk mail and then we decided to use that one instead.
Well, you got the one to sign up for the porn sites so you don't get all that porn spam. And then you got
the ones for Facebook.
Yeah.
Or the social medias.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gmail does a pretty good job of sorting that stuff into categories if you have it on. Some people don't.
I have it on. I still don't care about my Gmail most of the time.
I use it as my personal, and I actually use it, but yeah.
I have 2 Gmail accounts that I actively manage and use. 3 now, actually, but
is one your school? Or do you not use that one at all anymore?
No, I don't use that one. Everything that gets into that is forwarded to me because I get school stuff, but I haven't logged into that forever. The last time I tried, I didn't know the password, and you have to physically go into the university.
Oh yeah, that thing.
And to change your password, you can't do it
yeah.
through email or calling or anything like that. You have to physically go into the building, which is, I don't even know, if you left the country, like, what are you supposed to do if you want to get access to that for some reason? Because you're supposed to have it for life. I hope they wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, you don't know.
Well, that was a good rant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, 2-factor on everything. If you have one of those sites that say don't use this password, don't just be like, meh. Change
Password managers.
Yeah.
They help.
Since we're talking about security anyways, let's talk about ASUS actually sending out malware via an update last year. Is that not the same thing? No, someone got access to their update system and sent out malware through their update system. And that was like last year, right? And they're just it's barely in the news now.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it called? The Shadow
Hammer.
Hammer.
But if you have updated antivirus, it should detect it. But yeah, it came through the actual update tool.
So this one is also interesting because you can go download something to check it, have a really good virus scanner. Well, actually, this one doesn't talk about that. You can also take your MAC address and go to Kaspersky, give them your MAC address, and they will tell you whether you're infected or not. That's actually how they know who's all infected right now.
How do they know that?
Apparently, the MAC address, like you were updated because you're part of this group that was updated or that got these updates. We know
and they're doing
you
it by
got
MAC address? Weird.
Maybe they can hit your thing and see. Like maybe it just goes out and tests to see if your actual device.
If you're part of the.
Well, I could see them doing a MAC address actually, because that's about the only unique thing you could find from a computer.
It's kind of like the router issues that happened not too long ago.
Did they also do it by MAC address?
Well, you know all these because it's infected, so it's part of the botnet.
Okay.
Or if you just suddenly are unable to like hit web addresses because you've been banned because you were doing a DDoS.
Which really sucks because even when you're cautious...
Can happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not just Windows. I don't care what Apple people say.
No.
I don't
The
care
only
what
reason
Linux
why
people
Apple
say.
didn't get viruses for so long was because the target market was Windows, because that's what most people have.
'Cause everybody had Windows, nobody
Yeah.
had a Mac.
Windows.
But that's
Mac
not true
isn't-
anymore.
Yeah, Mac isn't.
And also they
secure
kept
or
bragging.
secure.
Start bragging too
Well,
loudly, and somebody's
the
going to
thing
make
is-
sure to take you down.
The thing is, I'm sure that there was viruses for Mac, but like it affected so few people.
Yeah, nobody ever noticed.
Or they could
Right.
just patch them out too,
So, you
because
know,
they do have
I mean,
they do have a tighter hold on the ecosystem there.
Except for that one time when you could log in without the admin password.
I said ecosystem. I didn't say security.
So the virus won't come through from Apple.
No, what I mean is if there is a problem and it's big enough, they could patch it pretty. They could patch it easier, because it also has like, I think Windows is kind of hurting itself right now because they're just like, hey, update, restart. Hey, update, restart. Mac is kind of the same way, but it won't forcibly restart you like Windows does.
the thing that gets me, so
Because Windows is trying to protect you.
I
Mac
get it.
doesn't think they need to.
But there's just some times where it's been like, at work, I leave mine on to do something. Oh, look, it restarted. I have no idea if it worked or not.
And that's what happens when people don't restart the computers for like 3 years and then wonder why it crashed one day. They lost all their information or they got the virus.
so
I just
the thing
hate
is,
Update Tuesday.
so one of the things that we have going on here that I think needs to change. This is my personal rant. I've been thinking about this for a little while. So, I don't customize stuff like I used to. So I used to, when I went my Windows box, I had like a auto hidden thing on the right hand side of the screen that had all my drives and everything like that, like the things that I accessed most frequently. It had the apps that I actually used instead of the start menu, because I didn't really like the start menu.
Yeah.
And then I hid my actual taskbar at the top of the screen and had a little thing in the bottom that actually was like an app that was running that would tell me the time. Right. So I had customized all this stuff so that, rain monitors. It was rain monitor.
It was rain?
Yeah.
I know Apple has one too.
But the thing is that I think it's just dead at this point. I
thought I saw something not too long ago.
I don't know. But the point is that slowly, like every time Windows updates comes through, it would like change something and make it harder to do the thing that I wanted to do.
Rain meter.
Yeah, you're right. So they'd change something and make it harder to do something, or they'd update something, and then all of a sudden my app wouldn't work. Mm-hmm. And the same thing's happening on my phone. So like I set a bunch of ringtones on my phone to like so I set custom ringtones for people. Then I get an update on my phone, and all of a sudden everybody has the same ringtone again. Right? I changed the way my icons are set up on the screen, right? And then all of a sudden an update comes through and it realigns all my icons. Like the updates happen and then they screw everything that I've set up, right? They change the way that the interface works, that you interact with the interface. There are things that don't need to be changed that they'll change just because it's a different interface. Like the last update my phone did, it changed the way that you, like when you hit the little thing that shows you all of your apps, it used to come down and now so I used to have to scroll up and down and then slide them to the right or to the left to get rid of them. And now it's the other way. It's horizontal and I have to slide right and left and then swipe it up to get rid of it.
Like back in KitKat?
Well, I don't know. It's just,
I don't know.
just
I remember it was weird.
just the last update. The thing is it doesn't matter which way it goes and how you swipe it and everything like that. But people who are more vulnerable to viruses anyways aren't going to want to update because they're not going to know how to use their phone.
Yeah, or
Like,
whatever.
Yeah, or Windows or anything like that. They need to stop changing things that don't need to change unless you request it. Like, make it available, but don't just do that.
But I think some of the visuals, like those that are based on, visuals, like the Nova launcher, or these are its specialty is the look of your device.
Right.
Rain meter, and I forget what Apple's is called. They have another one.
Mm-hmm.
Apple has something like Rain meter. What happens is your desktop, like you basically just like wipe out everything off your desktop, and you have your time that's constantly doing. You have your CPU usage, these are clickable icons that are built into the picture, your background picture.
Yeah, you basically make a HUD, a heads-up display on your monitor with these apps. And I can see like stuff just breaking because of like Windows changed the way they do something or something like that. But like the point is that if they want people to update so that they stay secure, then they need to stop changing significant parts of the way that you interact with your computer, because people aren't going to want to do the updates. I mean, besides the whole I have to restart my computer crap, if it changes the way that your computer works, they're not going to want to do the updates, and then they're going to get owned. They're going to get part of a botnet. They're going to get their personal information stolen, because the fundamental way that they do updates is making people not want to do updates.
That's why a lot of people are even rolling back to 7.
Except for 7's not going to be getting security updates after next year unless you pay for it.
Yeah, but they don't care.
Yeah.
You're right, but...
It'll keep working the way they want it to work until they get the virus.
And then they'll just reset. That's what I used to do. When I got viruses, I just reset.
But on the other side, if you do a
cleaning it up.
hard reset and your computer has been on 10, you will reset to 10.
Depends on how you reset it.
Okay.
If you do it the way that, like, through the system and you don't have an install disk, probably. Unless you completely reformatted it. Like, you just wiped it clean. Then it will probably go back to 7. But if you just overwrite the one partition, you're definitely going to go back to 10.
Yep.
Partition is a way of breaking up your hard drive.
Install Linux.
Linux isn't immune either.
No, I mean
it's actually more.
It's part of the.
It's more vulnerable technically.
Well, it's technically just part of the smaller group than even Apple.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Linux is unless you know what
Unix.
you're doing, like you can lock down a Linux fairly easily if you know what you're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's really easy to open up vulnerabilities and do things that will just make your life horrible. So,
put a link to Rain Meter. It's fun. That's really why I look at.
I didn't know this existed. That's cool.
Rain Meter can be CPU intensive.
Yes,
but it makes your computer like neater. If you're not...
Does CPU intensive really even matter anymore?
Well, I mean, it could. It depends on what you're doing. Like, are you applying a filter to your... Are you doing Photoshop and applying some pretty advanced filters?
Usually those run on the GPU.
Do they run on the GPU these days?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I'm sorry. I'm an old school nerd.
They run on the GPU because it can do that stuff much faster than the CPU can now.
I think the one that I used when I had a Mac was Geek Tool.
For the Mac?
Yeah. I think this one worked out pretty well.
Yeah, you can definitely tell us it's designed back for 6.
So these are really cool. What I've been thinking about doing for a little while now is you can get a mirror and then you get a monitor and you put the monitor behind the mirror and then you just run the monitor off of like a Raspberry Pi or something like that. Or maybe an extra computer you got sitting around. And then you could just use one of these things to give you an input, so it shows you like on the screen you have like a black desktop so that everything's reflective, but then it has like the weather on there and maybe news headlines and something else like that.
Have you seen this project?
Which
on
would
the
be
internet?
really nice.
Because they're all over
This
the
might
place.
be-
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where I got the idea from.
Okay, Nerd Tool. So Geek Tool and Nerd Tool, I think, are the two big ones for Mac.
So, but yeah, these would be nice for that sort of a thing. You just stick a monitor behind a mirror and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need a special mirror, but yeah, it wouldn't be that
At
hard.
least a one-way.
Yeah, it has to be a one-way mirror. So like you can see through the other, like so the stuff on the outside can shine through.
You mean a two-way mirror?
No, I don't think so. Because a one-way mirror, you can't see the stuff.
That's what a two-way mirror is. You can't see it on the other side, like they use in the cop shows.
I thought that was a one-way mirror.
That's two-way mirrors.
Okay,
Okay.
fine.
Because you look in it from two ways. Oh, like a normal mirror will have like a black back on the inside. You can't see anything on the other side.
That's the reflective part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, I think the reflective part is something else, and then they add the black stuff there, but I don't know for sure.
This one might not be too bad. I haven't heard this one, but it's written using HTML5.
The way I want to pronounce that is not safe for this podcast.
We'll put it in the show notes.
It's uber sick.
There we go. Uber sick it is. Sticking with that. We'll put a link in the show notes. And if you want to look at the code, you can go to the GitHub.
The GitHub.
Yeah,
The GitHub.
the nice thing about like RaidMeter and probably these two is that like you can download like a profile or whatever, but it's just code behind it. So in the back end, you can go and tweak whatever you want and move stuff around and change it. And if you get really good with it, you could actually just like
Make your own.
Yeah, make your own from scratch or
there's
whatever.
so much fun. I've wasted way too much time on.
I might actually do this for my laptop because I don't ever plan on playing games, and sometimes when you're playing games, it used to affect it, but I don't know that it will as much anymore because things are a lot more powerful.
I think on a laptop it still would. On a desktop, not so much.
But I don't ever plan on playing games on my laptop.
Hey, look, Asus AI Suite.
So, but there's nice things, and it has quick launches to other stuff and whatnot. But
And then you kind of you really get to design how the look and feel of it.
mm-hmm.
You can create the hotkey shortcuts the way you want it. You can have certain, so instead of your desktop just being full of documents, or to try to keep it clean, take all your shortcuts and so forth and throw them into a folder that you forget exists.
I just delete them.
Yeah, you just like
Because
that.
now all you have to do is just go doop, and then you press the Windows key, and then just type away up the program you want, and then hit enter.
Mm-hmm.
My bottom bar, the bar is very set up in a particular order because you can just go Windows and then starting at the left, 1, 2, so on and so forth, all the way down the line.
Yeah,
and
so like if we do Windows 1 a lot.
Yeah, guess what?
Oh, you've changed that setting.
What do you mean? You were doing it. See?
No,
what are you talking about?
the way, so at work, whenever we do the stand-up stuff, like Scrum,
yeah.
if my Scrum Master doesn't get there early, I just hit Windows key 1 twice, and it opens up 2 Chrome windows.
If it is not, okay, so if the first item on the bar is not open and you do it twice, or you do things multiple
it'll just
times,
fire it twice.
it will open it multiple times.
Okay.
If you have multiple instances, like if Chrome is your first one, you have multiple instances, like full on Windows, not tabs, it will rotate through them.
Okay.
And if there's just one, it will minimize and maximize.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, today I learned.
I love keyboard shortcuts.
Oh, so do I, but...
I used to, but then they changed them all.
Actually, quite a few of them.
A lot of them are the same. I mean, I use Control Shift Escape a lot. I use Windows Pause Break. Not as much as I don't use that all the time.
Windows Pause Break.
So Windows Pause Break brings up your system properties
for you. I knew that. I forgot about that one.
And then
especially if you need your computer's name.
Yeah, so if you need a computer name or if you want to go something in there. The only time I really use it these days is when I'm like changing up my Java version or something like that, and I gotta change my Java home directory or
I use
something like that.
Windows E a lot.
Yeah, I do. I use that one a lot.
I actually use it so much it pulls up your file explorer. Usually the second thing that's on your start bar.
Yeah.
Is that it gets also the first thing I get rid. That's the first pin item.
I leave it there just because I like to be able to mouse over it and pick between my windows. Because I have a lot of windows open.
Yeah,
I know,
if it's open.
but then I know exactly where it's at.
So that's the thing. Like
Like, it's
because I
muscle
never
memory at
shut
that
down my
point.
computer,
Mhm.
all my apps are in the same order, and if they're not in the right order, I get irritated. I move them around. But like, yeah,
You could just pin them.
well, I pin some I don't pin.
Some you can't
because-
pin.
Well, some of them I don't pin because if I accidentally hit them on the wrong desktop, it'll open a new instance on that desktop, and it irritates the crap out of me.
Yes,
You can fix
that is-
that.
Oh, there's a ways around it.
No, like you don't even have to do that. Like I'll show. So click on the thing that opens up the workspaces.
I think
Just
it's
just click on it.
Windows Alt.
Just click on it.
Let's see.
You're gonna accidentally close your recording.
I'm probably gonna.
Pause it or something.
I don't know.
Just click on the workspace thing, please.
Hey, nope.
No, that's not it either.
I screwed that one up. All right, is that what this one is? He used to know the shortcut.
Yeah, you click on that.
All right.
So now, if you right click on like Audacity, for example.
Audacity. Yes.
Yeah, that one. Right click on
Hit
it.
the other X in the upper right hand corner.
So you can show this window on all desktops. Show windows from this app on all desktops. Okay, never mind. You can't link it to a specific one, but
What do
you
you mean?
can make it show on all of them.
You can move it to a
You
different
can
one.
move it,
Oh,
but it
okay,
won't
you're right.
stay there.
Correct. It yeah.
Yeah. So like Outlook is the one that really gets me all the time.
Outlook, I just have open on everything.
So I don't have a tab for it because sometimes I'll click it on accident, but I don't want it on everything because it runs really slow. It doesn't always minimize right, and it's just irritating.
No, it'll only open it once. That doesn't open it every single time.
No, but what I'm saying is that if it's up on the desktop and then I go to minimize it to do something else, it takes a few seconds to minimize sometimes because I don't know, there's some change lately
Jeez.
and it just runs
Outlook
really slow on
has
mine.
ups and downs.
Yeah, it freezes a lot because it's trying to connect to the server or something.
Oh,
So
I don't
I'll have to
that
hunt down
problem.
the keyboard shortcut. I forget what it is. I want to say it's like Windows Alt or something like. I don't know. I should probably quit saying random keys. But there, if you have the key to jump to the next workspace, so you accidentally click it, jump to the other workspace immediately. It opens in that workspace instead.
Yeah.
Because
Depends on how fast your
Yeah.
computer is.
So
no. I've not seen an app that has beaten it.
Do you have any SSDs anywhere?
If I had an SSD, I would probably be much happier, though. But we should probably wrap things up.
Nah, saying ain't so.
It's saying is so. Famous
Saying is
last
so.
words. You guys ready?
Ted.
Go, Ted.
this bottle of Foster's is giving me shivers.
Bill.
No, you gotta go first. This is gonna be the show ender. You just want to be part of this one?
Sure.
Do you know that the first computer dates all the way back to Adam and Eve?
No, the first computer dates all the way back to 1970.
No, Adam and Eve. It was an apple with only one bite. Then everything crashed.
Okay.